Good afternoon and welcome to Galactic Soul Healing. Now, what we're doing today, folks, is I'm working with these animal dreaming cards. I'm going to be working with these. Okay, and we're also going to be working with these Cosmic Tarot, which is this pack here. Sorry. That pack there. Okay, Cosmic Tarot. Now, right, so the spread we're going to do is this. Now, I'm totally organised today. This is called a Mind, Body, Spirit spread, and we're going to be looking at, so this is, as we know, we're going from 3D, 4D, 5D, right? Now, this is Mind, Body, Spirit in 3 dimensions, because believe it or not, in 3D we have some concept of spirit, don't we? And we're operating in spiritual kind of ways that we kind of think of as in 3D terms, right? And then in 4D it's mind, body, spirit as well. And in 5D it's mind, body, spirit. So in each of those dimensions we might be kind of activating different levels and different ways of being and different levels of awareness with respect to our minds, our bodies and our spirits. Okay? Now when I talk about spirit, yeah, it will become apparent as we put the cards out. Now, so basically I'm just going to get you to watch me shuffle these and deal them, because I'm not going to be now. So basically, so the 3D is going to be closest to you. So basically when we turn them over, it will be here will be the 3D, and then 4D, 5D, the final thing. Now, as I'm shuffling these, I'm just, by the way, these Cosmic Tarot, I'm just using the major arcana from those, okay? So basically the symbol cards. So right, so as I'm shuffling now, I'd just like to, you know, call upon the spirit, any ascended masters, archangels, spirit guides, any light beings, like from, say, for example, consciousnesses, from consciousnesses of Sirius, Arcturus, Andromeda, Lyran beings, a lot of them are on Sirius anyway, and Luavian. Because those consciousnesses have sort of been directly assisting us with mind, body, spirit integration, and as we move up the dimensions we are learning how to integrate them better, and we've been up leveling. A lot of us have been going through energetic upgrades recently, you know, and doing all sorts of making all sorts of shifts, whether they be psychologically, you know, like you know, psychologically or physiologically making shifts, but also in our concept and our understanding of spiritual, what spiritual well-being is and that sort of thing. So we can just shuffle these like normal cards. So basically what the cards are going to kind of be helping us with is to kind of, it'll be looking at some symbology to do with you know, what we're dealing with currently, which is obviously the 3D, and basically even people that are, you know, starseeds or, you know, of, you know, quite evolved people have still got to deal with third dimension. And also it might be that you know, if you don't consider yourself as a 3D person anymore, you might be 4D or 5D person, right? Those energies that you're still dealing with in 3D are those energies that are around you that you're needing to how should we say, navigate. So it might pertain to people personally as the vibration dimension that they're in, or it might be that it's simply the energies of those around us that we're needing to navigate. Okay, now I've got these cards here, right? So let me just cut the deck once, twice, 3 times, once, twice, 3 times. Now, we're going to be 1, 2, 3. Mind. Oh, yeah, okay, we need to do this back the other way, don't we? I think what that means is that I'm just going to put that there. Mind, that one was second anyway, and that one was third. Mind, body, spirit, mind, body, spirit for the 4th dimension, and mind, body, spirit for the 5th dimension. Now, mind, body, spirit, mind, body, spirit. The reason I'm putting 2 cards is because it just makes it a little bit more dynamic in terms of interpretation. It just makes a bit more of a depth interpretation. Just drinking carrot juice at the moment. Believe it or not, it's kind of helping me get rid of this headache I've got. Now, right, so carrot juice is good for that headache. Now, okay, I'm not touching these cards, right? Now, what we're going to start with is these here. What I mean, I'm not touching them. I said what I meant was I'm not going to be shifting them, okay, behind the scenes. Now, we're dealing with 3rd dimensional mind energies, so let's see what these are. And this is kind of either where people are at or what we're dealing with at the moment. Okay, opportunity. Is that interesting? Do you remember this one that came out the other day? Mind. Basically, everyone is having to deal with this huge recalibration, mentally speaking, which is that thing of like the basically the material, okay, is kind of being is falling asunder, basically. But the good thing is that it's sort of being replaced by this, which is really that spiritual insight that we have. Okay, so it's our insight into our spiritual and soulful way of being, our spiritual well-being, that is going to really help us to come to grips with the demolition almost of a more materialistic way of life and way of being. And that's kind of reassuring, really. So, you know, that's definitely, you know, the tower is being, so basically it's like authorities are kind of tumbling, and things like, you know, concepts of leadership, which may or may not be conducive to war, whatever. Yeah, but it's basically like, you know, these big towers, you know, that it's basically the materialistic way of being that's kind of, that mentally we're having to kind of really come to grips with at the moment. But isn't that interesting how what that means is that it's actually an opportunity. So I'm glad I actually put these cards together, because that is true. It's actually a spiritual opportunity for us to literally begin our evolution up this way, because we can't evolve into 5D unless we let go of, to a quite large extent, this materialistic mindset and a heavy rootedness in basically measuring our worth based upon how many possessions we have. It's not a spiritual way of being, people. Okay, it's not an evolved way of being. Okay, but we're also very heavily entrenched in material. It's a big challenge for us, right? More so for some of us than others of us. But anyway, So that's interesting. That's an opportunity. Okay, even though there's destruction going on, it's a little bit like, when a fire sweeps through. Admittedly, it's not that great, but it does give you that, opportunity to start again, even though there's a lot of work involved, okay, and a lot of heartache and grief that's gone on as a result of that falling away. Okay, there's big changes basically everyone's dealing with, huge changes. Now these two cards are to do with the body on the 3rd D level. The other thing to note here too is if you're not perceiving this destruction yourself, okay, if you just feel like you're cruising along with it, just keep in mind, like say if you're a therapist or a healer or you're doing a light work, that a lot of people are feeling this. Okay? So that's good to keep in mind. Now, this is to do with the body. And oh my goodness, we have Mr. Ant again. Now he came up the other day, and that's strength, isn't it? Interesting. The ant can carry many times its body weight, basically, and it doesn't, looks can be deceiving. It doesn't look like it can, does it? And that's the same thing with humans. We're actually stronger than we realise. We can actually ride this wave of change physically, and what we need to do is we need to kind of activate ourselves physically. Because if you've been one of these people that's, been an executive and you've earned lots of money and now that seems to be going away, focus on your physical strength. Okay? Now, it can also be a thing that in the 3rd D mindset, there's 2 interpretations of this card. Either it's focus on building up your strength, but it can also be, that there has been a lot of focus on physical strength. Okay, but it's not just about physical strength now. It's actually about being strong on what's right, like what you feel is personally right for you. This is justice, the justice card. Okay, see how there's a yin yang there, which is balance. Okay, the scales are balanced, and that's what we want. We want balance. Okay, we've also got night and day here. So it means that physically we're needing to bring our physical being into balance, our physical body into balance. Now, the other implication behind this is that, which is probably more 4D level, but when you've got chakras, because basically if your chakras are out of balance, right, it's not healthy, and it's not conducive to developing consciousness. I need some more carrot juice. That is a nice big cup. Very good. Now, so that's actually quite good. I like how that's sort of been put together, because it's saying, it's okay to use your physical strength and be strong, but just keep it in balance. Okay, which means, use a bit of insight into what you're doing and why you're doing it. Okay, and don't misuse your strength. Like, don't, anyway, you can figure that out. There's probably other interpretations you can have on that, but we're kind of pertaining to the physical. Okay, so it's sort of balancing out your own physical reality, balancing it with some spiritual stuff perhaps as well. Okay, but it's okay to be strong, and just keep in mind that you're stronger than we realize. Okay, now, so now we're up to the I just have to blow my nose, which is really annoying. We're up to the spirit part of the 3rd D. I mean, I think these two together, it's also saying too, that basically whenever justice is there, it means that it's right, that justice is prevailing, okay? And the thing is that if you want to develop your physical strength, or kind of become stronger physically, that is a good thing to do. They're saying that is justice, because you're actually, what you're doing is you're focusing on strengthening your physical body, which is fine. As long as you don't, they're saying, do it with balance. As long as you're not being totally obsessive and doing nothing else in your life. Okay? Because we have relationships, and we have spiritual body and aspects, and we have, things that we need to cultivate, other chakra areas, okay? Heart space, intuition, right? Now, this is the spirit one. Oh, haven't seen him. Oh, isn't that interesting? Confidence and temperance. These are amazing, these cards. Like, I love how they work together. Now, isn't that amazing? That literally looks like that bird is looking at that woman, and the woman's looking at the bird. Like, I just picked them up like that. Now, so, now that doesn't say bastard, it's busted, which is, sounds like, you're being caught smoking in the back, you bastard. But no. It's a type of bird in Australia. And it's confidence. So, it's actually saying, for those people that are, we're in the 3rd D, we need to be building our confidence spiritually. And people that are doing spiritual things with their time and helping other people, they need to be becoming really more confident now, because guess what? There's a big movement into the spiritual now. Okay? And temperance is really about moderation. She's a bit nude there. Temperance is sort of like pacing yourself. So it's saying to move forward with care, okay? Pace yourself and look after yourself spiritually, okay? Because there's a lot of energies going on, and spiritually you're going to start to, start feeling things more so. Oh, so glad that headache's gone. That carrot juice is brilliant. Freshly squeezed carrot juice. Good for a lot of things. Thank God I got to high vibration again. The headache was getting me down, I tell you. Now, so the temperance. Isn't that lovely? And it's kind of got a bit of a soft, gentle feel to it too, hasn't it? She's actually trying to figure out what she's doing with that water. I think she's pouring water out. But, see, in nature. Okay, it's in nature. High vibrational environments. Definitely look after yourself and do that for your spiritual body. Right, in a 3D environment, the way that some of us high frequency spiritual type people can navigate it is that we really need to be feeling a little bit more confident now, because these other 3D people are really going to need some spiritual assistance. Spiritual and emotional and mental, intellectual, basically psychological assistance. Okay, and even physically too, physiologically. And the temperance is just really nice. Like, I like that how it's kind of like, it's very au naturel, and it's just beautiful sunshine with the trees there. Isn't that awesome? I actually really like it. And the confidence. Awesome. So that's really awesome, like mentally, physically and spiritually, where we're at in 3D. Also what we're moving through. Now, the other thing too is that these two, I'm just thinking, this could have been like the old school, like religious type way of like temperance. I mean, I know, nudity is not religious, but in terms of being like very tempered and controlled. Okay, that's the old style religion. Whereas, hey, look at this bird here. This is confidence. It's kind of like stepping up into a slightly high vibration, or it's saying that we're combining these two. So we're being confident, but we're being temperate at the same time. Okay? It's all coming together. Oh my God, it took me 3 goes to get this right. I just had to get my bearings happening. Now, 4D. Now, let's go to this level. Now, this is interesting because 4D, we're starting to address a deeper, a little bit of almost a subconscious layer of ourselves in 4D. And this is where all of the stuff comes up for processing. All of our shortcomings are made apparent to us. All of our insecurities, all of our reasons for being unhappy in life, and all of our relationships that are dysfunctional, it all comes up for processing. Also, like childhood stuff rears its head. Okay, now let's see what the 4D has. Okay, in terms of our mind, for the 4D, oh my God, record keeper for the with a whale and the magician. Isn't that interesting? Oh my God, let me just hold them like this for some reason. I'm not sure when I'm going to hold like that. The mind, I don't know if you remember one of my other videos previously, but basically I was saying like consciousness is magical, right? Our mind is magical, and this is the mindset. If you start to do some dream work on your dreams, start going into your looking at your childhood, basically do some subconscious reflection. Okay, you start to kind of, and it's probably really good to get a transpersonal therapist of some description, either a transpersonal art therapist such as myself, or a transpersonal counselor, to really help you hold space and go through this symbology. Because even just if you got yourself a pack of meditation cards, and even just picking up the cards, can be helpful. See, the magician. So he's sort of saying that in the 4th dimension there'll be more insight. So once this has happened, this sort of destruction, which we remember is an opportunity. This was on the 3D mental level. So once we've been through that destruction, was the opportunity to develop spiritual, and intuitive and connection to spirit capacities, potentials. We are going to start becoming like this in terms of what we're perceiving, in terms of our understanding, our compassion, our our intuition, our spirit connection. It's going to all start to happen. Okay, see this? That's intuition developing, and this is an infinity, and that is amazing too. Because spirit is infinite, and it's really awesome, and that's when you start to feel the oneness happening. Now, the record keeper, that is fascinating as well, because you know what that means. Record keeper, this is so awesome. That is sort of referring to all of the stuff that's gone on in your past, which is your past lives on Earth, your past lives galactically speaking, and also in this current life, your past into your childhood and your infancy and your growing up. Okay? So basically, when you go into all of this stuff, which is there is a record of that in your energetic field, in your soul's energetic field, which surrounds you for 20 feet in every direction. Okay, coming to terms with all of that and understanding that also puts you then into here, where you start to go, you know what, that's just friggin' magical. Like, I think the 4D seems to be it's about opening up again to that energetic layer of the being, and it's that new concept of the soul. And intellectually we can grasp that, Okay, there's a certain amount of faith and trust involved in grasping it, but mentally, that's where it's going to be at in 4D. Okay? Now, if you're already in 5D, you probably obviously be aware that other people are still doing this and that they're going through that process. Okay? Now, this is flowing on beautifully, amazingly. I cannot believe it. Thank you, Spirit. It's really awesome. 4D, from the bodily perspective, is what we're working with in 4D, or what we're working towards, or what people are already in, you know. So, okay, let's 4D. We have wallaby, progression, interesting, and here we have the Empress. Wow. That is amazing. I'm getting chills again. So progression, so it's saying physically. There is a movement. Now, the movement physically is that, I mean, admittedly, we're going from strength here. We had strength and justice, didn't we, in the 3rd D? So what we're going to be doing in the 4th D is that we're making progression on from that, which means not only will we have physical strength, but we will start to be more integrated energetically. We will have more awareness that our physical body is not just about the bones and skin and muscles and organs. It's actually also about these energy centers, okay, that are within the physical form. So we're talking body, it's within the body. So it's a progression in understanding, but also in our conscious awareness of those energies and being able to meditate on them. So I kind of have this little theory that the gyms of the future are going to actually have to have meditation rooms, and they're going to have guided meditations on there for chakras. So if someone wanted to start up $1 million franchise, you know, chakra fitness or something like that, mind body chakra wellness centers or something like that, because it's literally like we're going to have to start really tapping into those energy centers in a big way down the track, because they also connect out into the layers, in auric layers. Okay, now you can use sound and color to work with chakras. Okay, you can also use movement. This is why it's going to have a bit of a flow on into fitness centers, because you can do things like Tai Chi, yoga, creative movement. Okay, it's all done in a meditative way, connecting into the inner energy centers. So fitness is going to become not just about this thing about getting your you know, your pecs and your tits and your bum to look a certain way. Sorry, more like ass and pecs. It's not going to be about that. It's going to be, it might still be a little bit about that, but it's going to be at another whole, there's going to be a whole lot of depth stuff added to it. Now, the Empress, and that's what I mean by progression. So it's a little bit more energy body is taking into it, okay? Now, the Empress, she, I'll just have to look at that. She is... Okay. The feel I'm getting from that is that, you know, it's quite soft. There's soft, there's abundance, and there's poise. Okay, she's obviously well off financially, but it sort of means more like, if we look at the word term abundance, comfort, and poise. So this is the thing that the physical in the 4th D, it's sort of more about poise and being comfortable in one's own skin, feeling abundant throughout the whole soul as well as the body. So it's kind of also a little bit about looking after internal health, abundance. Okay, and with the fact that that's a feminine figure, it kind of means that it's about internal, because as we know, it's that feminine aspect is that thing where we were receiving in. So it could well be referring to, I think Spirit's just telling me now that, yeah, it's really referring to that real importance for people if they're moving into 4D, and certainly there's people there already who are becoming really consciously aware of the nutrition that they're taking in to their physical body. So basically diet, nutrition, hydration, and also looking at the substances that are not kind of conducive to good health, particularly foods and beverages that are not conducive to good health. See, I mean, she doesn't look, she looks quite healthy. I mean, she's actually in nature there. There seems to be a little globe down there in the corner. So it's almost like, it's kind of like a global, I want to say it's a global movement. It is a global movement because people these days are having a lot more, eating a lot more organically. Okay, people are a lot more aware. It's water I need now. So hydration and things like that. So this is actually really beautiful, isn't it? Because you see how this is quite soft creature as well, and this is soft. So that whole thing about physical strength and justice, which are quite strong, kind of firm concepts, aren't they? They're kind of, even though it's good to have that basis. Okay, then the movement is into softening that and softening the internal, becoming more aware of the internal nutrition. Okay, but we can even be doing that in 3rd-D, but they're just sort of saying that in 4th-D people really need to be doing that, or that's what characterizes a 4D type of experience. Okay, physically, right? Now I'm finding this really helpful for myself. Drink lots of water today because I'm trying to give up coffee. It's that little headache, but the carrot juice seems to have helped. Now, because, isn't that interesting? I could just hit on something there. As we know, if the body's addicted to something, it's sort of got those toxins come through, like the caffeine that's sort of releasing the toxins, right? The old carrot juice, that's a bit of an antioxidant. So that's probably just knocked off those toxins. That could be completely incorrect, biologically speaking, but I'm just guessing. Now, 4D, from the spiritual perspective, this is going to be interesting. Oh, I can't wait. Lord. Do you know what? We had this one before, the Chariot. Oh my God. Oh, look at that crow. It's actually looking straight at that carriage. I don't know why I'm just holding them up this way. Oh my God, Spirit, this is so amazing. I cannot believe this. Jumping up and down like a jackrabbit. Stuck on me. Now, remember previously, from 3rd-D, we had, from a spiritual perspective, we had the little temperance and the confidence. So that was just moving into, just acknowledging that the spiritual aspect is there and that we need to address it, gently, not pushing it to the side because it's completely valid, and people that are spiritual need to be a little more confident with it now, right? As we do our spiritual gifts, we're getting a little bit more confidence. Now, this here is literally saying, Spirit, that there is law. The law, like there's natural laws, obviously, and there's cosmic laws, and there's spiritual laws. Okay, and the law is that people are here to evolve. And guess what he's doing? He's on a journey. He's actually moving towards something, and this is the law. It's almost like a law of progression, which we've actually just had this term. Look, we've just had this term. Just then, in that physical aspect, it's a progression, and this is actually progression as well. So it's saying in the 4th D that in spirit we need to acknowledge that we're moving towards something spiritually. Okay, and that, you know, that's like it's a spiritual kind of law, basically, of evolution. That if you know, if a being evolves, okay, it goes through changes in the way that it takes in information and it processes, so in its mind, and it also goes through changes physiologically. It has to adapt to new environments and new circumstances. Okay, and then spiritually, it means that it's upping in frequency because it's connecting to its environment around itself in a new way. Right, and we are going through ascension. We are going through these huge shifts in energy field of the earth is going through shifts. It's moving up to 5th dimension. Okay, so the law is that we must move with that. And look at this, it's movement. Okay, but it's stable. See how it's balanced? It's masculine and feminine principles, aka black and white, which is kind of a bit of an illusion. It draws back to this idea of balance here within the justice, which is that yin yang symbol. Okay, that also implies the dark horse, often black, sort of depicted in yin yang as standing representing the feminine aspect, which is that receptive energy, and the white one is usually white in the yin yang. It represents that masculine aspect, which is the projective energy. Okay, now they're both necessary, and isn't that interesting how they're both running side by side in cooperation? Okay, and they are taking their owner to wherever it is that he's wanting to go, but he's directing it. So it's sort of saying this law here is that we must accept that we are the drivers of these two very powerful forces, our own divine masculine and our own divine feminine. And this is, we're talking spiritually now, okay? And they're the things that we need to grasp onto and start running with and start developing and helping them to work side by side in tandem. Okay? It's not like, one of those horses is going to drop off, or this one's going to try and overtake and kick that one in the teeth or whatever. No, they're side by side. Okay? And this is like, for instance, like a human being. This is their aspects here, masculine and feminine, but this is their higher self driving that. It's almost like our 3D personage is almost like the carriage, okay, because it's that solid thing, our 3D form, and it's like there's our higher self in there that is actually driving it, right? And this is our connection to spirit here, because these are our feminine, masculine, divine aspects working together. It's really awesome. Like, I love that combination, and they're saying that that's law. Okay, yeah, let's leave it at that. I love it. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of getting a bit excited in anticipation about what's going to be happening for this 5D level. I just do need to get a bit of water. Oh my God. I mean, I knew I loved doing tarot, but this just takes the cake today. I thank God for Spirit for directing me to do this. It took me 3 goes today. I was just not with it, and I thought, okay, I'm going to draw it out first. I'm organised. Now, 5D. Right, so this is where we're up to. 5D is this one. Mind. The mind part of 5D. Let's check it out. There you go, in case you need to see those cards again. Let me just, if I can put them closer. Can't really, you can sort of see. Right, let's pull these two up. Oh my God, I can't wait to see what they are. It's like opening your present at Christmas. Weaver of Dreams, can you believe it? Judgment. Okay. Weaver of Dreams, spider. Oh my God, see that spiral up there? Mentally, if you're in 5D, this is literally the feeling. Like what you're feeling like is that literally you're kind of at that stage where you're kind of going, you know what? Mentally, I can determine anything. My mind has the power to basically create the dreams, to create its own reality, and it's literally you know, it's literally like a weaver. It's a creator, and it's like you know, you can actually start to perceive that you're literally a sovereign being of light, because that's what we are. In 5D, in our mindset, we really have to keep reminding ourselves and convincing ourselves every day that we are sovereign beings of light. I actually did a meditation on the beach today, and I literally just went, you know what, I'm just releasing all of those little saboteur voices that are telling me that I can't, or that I shouldn't, or whatever, or just causing me to doubt and question, because you know what, I know that I'm a being of light. It's really just convincing all of the other low vibrational energies, entities, influences and attachments that are in my field that, hey, you can just butt out now and go and return back to the source and transform into, you know, unconscious, unconditional love-like consciousness, so that I can get on with my stuff that I'm needing to do here, because I am here as a light worker, and I'm here to help people in a way that's comfortable for me to do, because that's something I've just had to come to terms with recently. Is that, you know, because sometimes when you try to operate from a 3D mindset or in a 3D way of operating, it doesn't necessarily work if you're kind of like a 5D being, or you want to work in a 5D realm. Okay, now, so it's saying your mindset, basically that's a very powerful creator mindset, and it's really beautiful, you know. And if you're starting to have feelings like that, you really do have to have a lot of compassion for yourself and hold yourself in that space, because we still have to deal with people who are mentally in this. Okay, they're still going through breakdown, even though they might not perceive that it's an opportunity yet. But this is the card that people are still in. Okay, and there are also people that are sort of starting to awaken into this, like getting their perception and their intuition happening. Okay, the next level up is like, you know what, we actually are a creator. See, if you're a weaver of dreams, you're actually a maker of dreams. And you can make your dreams a reality. You can. It's really just slowly loving yourself enough and giving yourself compassion and forgiveness, and kind of really finding ways that you can do what you need to do, share what you need to share. Okay, and either do the training or increase your skills or do your courses that you need to do. Okay, now this part of it, which is judgment, I think that's kind of saying, I'm just kind of waiting for Spirit to kind of give me some info. I think that's kind of saying that even though we have this potential and all that, we still actually have to make a selection. We still have to select or make a judgment for ourselves about what it is that we are going to do, and what it is that we are want to be a part of and what it is that we don't want to be a part of. Okay? So in some ways, this is sort of about discernment, because when you make a judgment, it's a little bit like discernment, although this kind of it looks like it's alluding to there's a judgment that's coming down from on high, which is saying you are this and you are that, or whatever. Okay. Of course, that could be how that's interpreted, that card. I mean, you know, at some point, I mean, I don't want to say that there's going to be a big judgment day happening, because I don't know that 100%. People can believe that, of course, if they want to. But, you know, I kind of err on the side of that, you know, if a judgment happens, you know, I think it's actually, it's going to be an internal process where people will, maybe external events will happen in a particular way, and then maybe people will kind of be needing to make choices about what they're going to be involved in and about what they're not going to be involved in. Okay, so it's sort of saying here that it's almost like saying that even if you are like a co-creator, or you are a weaver of dreams, or you are, you know, helping to create a new reality, that you will still be required to exercise discernment, because I realise now, I think what they're trying to say is that even if you're in 5D, okay, you will still need to be able to move down into 4D and 3D. Okay, and what you'll need to do is you'll need to make calls for yourself in terms of these people. I think these people are in lower vibration, sort of seems like, because they seem very attached to Earth and sort of almost, well, it sort of looks there like they're half buried, but it's almost like they're rooted in a 3D. They're very, they're grounded to the point of almost being engulfed by, you know, the lower vibrational stuff. This looks like trumpets here. I mean, I don't think this card is about, okay, so we're a weaver of dreams and we're going to be the people that are calling the judgments. I don't think that's the way it's going to go. I think it's going to be about making a choice and also having discernment about how you're assisting these people here, how to best assist them while looking after yourself at the same time. Okay, because this is all about the mental, what it means to be in 5D, in a mental capacity, like what your mind is having to deal with, and where it's at. So basically it is at that, in some ways there's like a bigger gap here, isn't there? Because we will have to be dealing with extremes more so, because we moved up from this one, which was the 4D one, which is kind of going into one's own past and finding out about one's own soul and developing one's own intuition. Okay, because when you start going 5D, I think what this spirit's saying is that the responsibility starts to kick in, because you realize that you are a sovereign being and that you are a creator, but then you also still need to, in some ways, kind of not look after these people, but you do need to learn how to navigate what those energies are doing. Even though this is actually quite a high frequency card, this one. Okay, that's really awesome. I just love how that's there. Now, I think this is bang on. Like, I really enjoyed this. Now, physical 5D. Okay, let's see. Oh my god, we had this little guy the other day. Willpower. Oh, this is so true. We had this the other day as well. the Wheel of Fortune. Oh my God. So, physically, isn't this interesting? Because I have this feeling right now that this is me. Because physically, on 4D, we had this. It was the softening, okay? Becoming aware of the nutrition and the progression, like doing some energetic body work and doing some meditative mind-body connection, right, which is quite nice. 4D is actually nice to be in, okay? I was there for a lot of years in 4D. It's awesome. Just recently, I feel like I've received some kicks up the wazoo, and I feel like I'm this guy now, because I think physically what they're talking about here, and I think I'm bang on, is that this is even more fine-tuning about physically, about diet, but also environment, where you put yourself, okay? And the willpower is referring to that willpower that it takes to overcome an addiction, but also the willpower and the discipline that it takes to prepare oneself to go into low vibration environments when you are a highly sensitive, energetic being of, you're possibly vibrating in 5D, or your light body and your higher self wants to be there in 5D. Okay, and you really got to get over these next hurdles to be able to manage it, because that's what I feel like at the moment, that I'm actually trying to struggle, and it is really hard. And I had this huge pep talk on the beach, like one of my spirit guides was just basically saying to me, look, don't give up, keep going, because I know energetically people are going through a lot. Like, I'm not the only person that's got sawdust between the eyeballs that is actually perceiving this. I know I'm not crazy. And see, isn't that beautiful? The other thing that's so awesome about this is that Feel of Fairy penguin there, that is actually a small, beautiful, soft little bird, not an aggressive bone in its body, but it has got willpower next to it. So this is what it's like if you're a sensitive, energetically sensitive being. It's sort of like you're this soft little bird, okay? You don't mean any harm to anyone, but what happens is when you go into environments, or you deal with people, or you've got to overcome addictions or whatever, your body goes through a horrendous amount of stress, and you have to learn how to navigate that, how to prepare oneself, how to clear yourself afterwards, how to nutritionally not give in to the addictions when other people around you are, okay? Because 5D people, they know they have a bit of a mandate to or a woman date to actually come into unity consciousness of mind-body oneness, unity consciousness. Now, I guess I'm having a struggle with this because sometimes if you live with people that are not kind of spiritually trying to make that their goal, they've got other goals in life, which is awesome. It can be a little bit of a challenge, especially when other people around you are just eating whatever they want and you can't eat any of that stuff because it just wreaks havoc with your physical body, okay? So this is the willpower, and we're talking physically, and that is about the energies, the environment, your vibrations from people that your relationships can actually, when you get more sensitive, it's sort of like you just really perceive the energetic disturbance, and it's really upsetting, but the willpower is to continue on, keep connecting to spirit, keep trying to find like-minded souls that are similar to yourself, okay, and just sort of debrief with each other and bolster each other up, which I have been doing a little bit of, which is good. And the Wheel of Fortune. So isn't that interesting? It's kind of like saying, keep going, don't give up, keep exercising that willpower, and the good fortune will come. This is when you're in 5D physically. Okay, so I mean, if you think you're a 4D person and now you've just got this 5D picture, you're probably going, I don't know if I want to do that. It's okay, don't worry about it, because when the time comes, you'll be ready to do it and you'll want to do it. Really, just be in whatever dimension you reckon you're in. Okay, just resonate with that for however long you need to. But yeah, so I mean, there's obviously lots of overlaps and overlays and other things feed into these concepts that I'm talking about, but this is just for cards, and it's kind of just to get a bit of a fun symbolic perspective. Okay, now it's not the be all end all of everything, okay, that I'm saying. It's not like 100% how it is, because it's probably going to be different for everyone. But yeah, let's look at the last one. Spirit, the spiritual aspect of what it means to be in 5D is the hints that Spirit are giving us today. Oh wow, oh my God, I can't believe this. It's so beautiful. Look, loyalty and the Fool. Oh, this is so beautiful. Look, can you see that? That's a dog there. Look, I've just got chills again. I'm sorry. It's actually really beautiful. Like, it's so reinforcing for me right now. I can't believe this. Spiritually, if you're in 5D, the message that I'm getting from Spirit right now to say this is that your spirit guides, all of those spirits that are actually out there at the moment, some of them, those light beings, some of them are in 5D already, right? And even if you have ancestral spirit guides, ascended master spirit guides, angelic spirit guides, any of those spirit guides or light beings that have been helping us from other consciousnesses in other galaxies and stuff, planets, they are 100% loyal to your spiritual evolution. Like they are as loyal to you as a pet dog that you've had since a child that you love to bits. And some of these, a lot of these spirit guides have been with you since you were a child. And you know what this is? This is very childlike. And look at that. See, there's a dog. And there's the dog there representing. So it's almost saying, I'm getting chills again. Like, basically, if that was you as a child and that's your little pet dog, they're basically saying, you know what, when you get to 5D, your spirit guides are just like that dog, and there it is. I kid you not. But you know the other thing? It's sort of saying that in 5D spirit, there's be such a feeling of freedom. You will be dancing in the freaking moonlight. Because, and there will be some transcendence happening, some transforming happening. And look at this little dog, he just loves that guy there jumping around. Might even be a girl, could be an androgynous being. But that little dog is so loyal and loving, and he's just sharing in that joy. Isn't that fascinating? That is the 0 card, the first card of the major arcana of the cosmic tarot. I just love that. It's just a real reinforcing thing. And you know what? It's actually also just reinforcing to me. When I was a teenager, I had this beautiful dog that I used to sit and pat with, and I used to talk with that dog because he was one of my only friends in that family. And he actually died. And it's actually almost saying to me, you know what? That dog is actually in spirit. maybe he's actually one of my spirit guides. Like, I'm really feeling that right now. Because this is just really strong with the double dogs there, isn't it? And dogs are man's best friend. And I don't know about you, but I think that's going to resonate with a lot of people. Because it's more or less saying, it's not saying that everyone has a dog spirit guide. Okay, it's saying when you're in 5D, spiritually, okay, you will be in a very free, high vibration of love. And see, dogs are also very intuitive and instinctual, and that will be involved as well. You will have a lot of intuition and insight, but there is a lot of there are a lot of other spirit beings that have this loyalty towards you. But not only that, you will actually feel a really strong sense of loyalty towards them as well, because, and this takes us back to the crow. And you know what? This is actually the direct flow on. This is the 4D, okay? This is the thing, right? The loyalty and the devotion and the mission to move towards light and evolve into higher dimensions in the love vibration, because you can't go into 5D if you're in a bloody fear or if you're in hatred or all the rest of it. You've got to move into love vibration. And this is the direct 4D spirit card that we had here, that one, that says that, you know, that's law. So the law is that, you know, people will evolve to this, and that, look at that, there's loyalty involved. That there is law, because in spirit, once you're in a 5D spirit, you need to work out where your loyalties lie. Okay, and it's pretty much saying that you need to be loyal to the love frequency. And that's just not like, we're not saying, you know, free love, sex anytime for anyone, anywhere you want it sort of thing. It's not about that. Okay, the love vibration is about beautiful compassion, bliss, joy, understanding, forgiveness, acceptance. You know, and it's a transmutation of all the other stuff, and even a full acceptance of all that other stuff, because it's needed to be there in order to be transmuted, and it's all comes together. Okay. Thank you for watching. That was awesome. I really love doing that. And thank you, Spirit. Oh my God. Thank you to all those consciousnesses that contributed to that. Like, I'm just very grateful for that. We could even move these up here. So if you wanted to jot these down, you know, what we had for the 3rd row, we had the Tower, and then we had Opportunity. Okay, just as a recap. That was for the mind aspects of 3D. For the body aspect of 3D, we had Justice and Strength. Okay. For the spiritual aspect of 3D, we had Confidence and Temperance. Okay. For the 4th dimensional mind aspect, we had the Magician and the Record Keeper, which is a beautiful internal looking card, looking at dreams and all sorts of things, the expression of the soul and things like that. The body aspect for the 4th D, we had the softening of the progression, and the Empress, which is definitely about that nutrition and taking in good things into our body. Okay, and that soft progression of energy body work. The 4th D here was the spiritual aspect. It's the Law and the Chariot. So it kind of means that we definitely have to be acknowledging the spiritual, and that we are definitely moving in the right direction. Particularly if we've done these things here, we are moving in the right direction. Okay, now it's good, actually good to recap, because we can see how they flow on here. This one, for instance, is, you know, there's going to be destruction, but justice will prevail, with that. And we will actually gain strength from this happening. Okay, because it is an opportunity. Right, so it will be strong. We will get strength from that. And we will then have more confidence, and we will learn temperance and respect. Okay, so then up here, so the link from this one was the so the very internal looking and the softening. So this is a very internal, 4D is a very internal processing thing, which is interesting because it kind of meshes in really well with this the COVID thing, where we've had to kind of basically almost shut ourselves off from people to some extent, to a large extent. So this is an opportunity, okay, for us to go inward, and then if we can do these things, develop some soul work, and look at ourselves, do some more softer body work, that we're in the right direction, and we're working in accordance with that natural spiritual law. Okay, now so with the 5D, we have this, we start to think of ourselves in terms of being a weaver of dreams. So we start to have a conscious feeling, an awareness that we are a creator. Okay, but then we still also need to be dealing with these other energies, and that may even be a tendency within ourself to still kind of go back down into these other dimensions. But we kind of just need to be aware of that there is going to be that tendency mentally. Okay, however, what we need to exercise is our willpower. We need to keep going. Okay, to become that weaver of dreams, we need to keep going, and good fortune will happen, because we will reap the rewards of that, personally, and culturally, and collectively, and energetically, that the whole will benefit from that. And then obviously, once that sort of starts happening, spiritually, then we'll be literally dancing in the moonlight, because we are, with our, it's not just that we were dancing in the moonlight on our own, but this is a reflection of our inner feeling. Okay, obviously there'll be other people and beings around us, right? And that, we will then be loyal to that cause, loyal to that spiritual cause, and we would have actually pretty much not proven our loyalty, but demonstrated our loyalty to this spiritual law, to the natural law, and to the to that whole process of ascension. We would have played our part, and we would have been, we would have loyal friends, and we would be, loyal friends in lots of different dimensions. And, it'll be awesome. But, there is initially, when you hit 5D, there is this bit of the struggle, which is that tendency to kind of get pulled back down, really. But you do have to exercise discernment and judgment about that. That's kind of almost what I feel like I'm kind of at the moment. This stuff here, I've done a lot of previous years in this, but I could probably still do more in that. See, this is the other thing, is that we can always do more. Okay, and this is sort of stuff I'm still kind of going through as well. But anyway, it's not about me. If any of this resonates for you, all well and good, and I feel like it's helped in any way, shape or form, that's awesome. So that's a bit of a wrap now, I think. So that was the mind, body, spirit spread for 3D, 4D, 5D. And we just kind of looked at some interconnections and things like that. But just keep in mind too that the spiritual body, how that progresses. Then we had the physical, okay, and then we had the this was the mental, physical, and the spiritual. Okay, all right. I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you for listening. That was awesome. Bye.